Are we back?
Welcome back!
Because it feels like we might be back. I don't know. Let me tell you what happened this week. Bitcoin just hit $78,000. A $2.6 trillion asset management firm published a bull case of $189,000 Bitcoin. Michael Saylor and Strategy bought $1 billion of Bitcoin in a single day. Iran is collecting tolls at the Strait of Hormuz in Bitcoin. And a sitting member of Congress filed a personal finance disclosure of up to $250,000 purchased. The people who have been telling you that it's worthless, it's a CIA operation, just had a very interesting week. You cannot make this up. This week reminded us of something important. You can tell how serious an asset has become by the quality of its critics. And this week, the critics told on themselves.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I'm Sophie, welcome back to Satoshi. Let's get into it. Let's start with the number, 78,000. I know some of you remember when that felt impossible.
It's not going to happen.
And I know that some of you remember when 10,000 felt impossible, and 1,000 before that. But here's the difference this time. It's not retail, it's not memes, it's not hype. We're serious now. This week, Citi Research, one of the largest financial institutions on the planet, published a Bitcoin bull case of $189,000. And this is important because it's not a fringe analyst, it's not a crypto Twitter account. Citi, okay? And while that was happening, Morgan Stanley rang the closing bell at the New York Stock Exchange and launched MSBT, the first spot Bitcoin ETF issued by a major US bank. The same institution that manages trillions of dollars for the world's wealthiest people just put their name on a Bitcoin product and rang the bell on Wall Street. And Bank of America authorized 15,000 financial advisors to recommend Bitcoin ETFs to their clients. Not one advisor, 15,000. This is not adoption. This is a stampede in slow motion. And the people who told you to wait, they're the ones now helping their clients buy it. Now, here's the part that tells you why the price is doing what it's doing. On Tuesday, Strategy bought 4,000 Bitcoin in 30 minutes. $302 million deployed in half an hour. Then they came back. On Wednesday, they did $1 billion in a single day. And here's the part that should stop you in your tracks. They did it without diluting a single MSTR shareholder. Through their preferred stock vehicle, STRC, they raised fresh capital, bought more Bitcoin, and existing holders didn't lose a penny of ownership. But here's where the numbers get almost hard to process. Strategy now holds 780,897 Bitcoin. That's almost 5% of the total supply. Global miners produce roughly 450 Bitcoin per day. Strategy is absorbing 3 times the global monthly miner supply every single month, and they still have 21.6 billion in remaining STRC capacity. Saylor's stated target, 1 million Bitcoin before the end of 2026. When one company is absorbing 3x global monthly supply, and they're not even halfway to their target, you don't have a price prediction problem. You have a supply problem. Every Bitcoin that goes into that wallet doesn't come out. Remember, this guy doesn't have kids, he doesn't have heirs, he doesn't even have a wife who can take this Bitcoin away from him. That's what a permanent price floor looks like. And we're not even to the most important story of the week yet. I need you to understand the weight of what I'm about to say. Iran, a country under maximum U.S. economic sanctions, is now collecting tolls at the Strait of Hormuz in Bitcoin. And their parliament didn't just allow it, they codified it into law. 20% of the world's supply passes through the Strait of Hormuz. This is one of the most geopolitically critical checkpoints on the planet. And a sovereign nation cut off from SWIFT, cut off from dollar settlements, frozen out of the global financial system, chose Bitcoin. Not the yuan, not gold, not a stable coin, Bitcoin. Why? Think about that for a second. Stablecoins? The US froze 3.3 billion in Tether at a moment's notice. Gone. Gold? It gets seized, embargoed. It doesn't exactly cross borders easily. The yuan? It comes with political strings that you don't want attached to critical infrastructure. But Bitcoin, no one can freeze it, no one can seize it, no one can turn it off. When a country facing maximum sanctions, with every reason to find the most resistant form of money possible, chooses Bitcoin over every other option available, that's not a test. That's the thesis being proven in real time. The Bitcoin standard isn't coming, it's being built straight by straight, nation by nation. And if institutions are building on Bitcoin and nations are settling in it, the question is whether your Bitcoin is actually in your control. That's where the Bitcoin way comes in. Your personal Bitcoin IT team, self-custody training, cybersecurity, Plan B residency, over 20 years of expertise. They simplify the whole thing so that you stay in complete control of your stack. Book a free 30-minute consultation at thebitcoinway.com/simply. Tell them Satoshi sent you. Okay, I want to talk about the critics now because this week they really showed up, and honestly, I'm grateful. They say bad press is good press, and this week, Professor Jiang Sheqing, who has millions of followers in China, posted a video asking a very sincere question about Bitcoin. He wanted to know, where are the servers? I kind of want to make a t-shirt. Like, we should actually make merch of that with like, where are the servers? That's hilarious. And he concluded, and I'm not making this up, that Bitcoin must be a CIA operation because where are the servers?
So the moment people recognize that this is a CIA operation, people won't put their money into blockchain. People won't put their money into Bitcoin. They'll be like, I mean, why would I do that? You have to ask yourself this question: where are the blockchain servers located? Right? Because I imagine if you're able to control the hardware, you can also control the software. I don't care what they tell me about open source and all that. I want to know where the databases are, where the servers are, physically.
My first instinct, as you can see, was to laugh, but then I stopped because this man is not stupid. He has credentials, he has an audience, and he genuinely does not know the answer to the most basic question about how Bitcoin works. My personal opinion, the guy is a plant because I've just seen this same exact come up before in Jordan Peterson, who I don't think is a plant, but it's a little copy paste for me. It's like, we're going to show your lectures and then we're going to make you viral on TikTok. And then all of a sudden you're going to appear on every single relevant podcast talking about your predictions. And the fact that he doesn't understand how Bitcoin works, that is the most bullish thing that I've heard in weeks, because here's the answer to his question. There are no servers. There is no headquarters. There is no CEO. There is no building that you can go to. There is no government that you can call. There is no kill switch. There are over 20,000 nodes running in homes, offices, ships, and bunkers on every continent on Earth, including Antarctica. No single government controls it, no single company owns it. It cannot be seized because there is nothing to seize. A professor with millions of followers just told the world that Bitcoin is so decentralized, so structurally different from anything that ever existed, that it looks like magic to someone who studies global economics for a living. So that's not a criticism, that's a case study. The quality of Bitcoin's critics is one of the most reliable bullish signals we have, and Professor Jiang just raised the bar. And if today is the day that you decide to actually start stacking, Bitcoin Well is the cleanest way to do it. Bitcoin Well is the self-custody Bitcoin on-ramp. You buy Bitcoin directly into your personal wallet. No custodial risk, non-custodial by design, trusted by 50,000 plus users, publicly traded, daily recurring buys available. Sign up at bitcoinwell.com/simplybtc. Through our link, you get 3 chances to win 1,000,000 sats. That's 0.01 Bitcoin. Not nothing. So sign up at bitcoinwell.com/simplybtc. Here's the one that got me. This week, Representative Sherry Biggs, a sitting member of the U.S. Congress, filed a personal disclosure. She purchased up to $250,000 of Bitcoin. personally, with her own money, one of the largest personal Bitcoin purchases on record by a sitting US legislator. Now, why does that matter? Because she votes on Bitcoin legislation. She sits in the room where rules get made. She has access to every expert, every briefing, every argument against Bitcoin that exists. She has heard it all. And this is the theme of the entire week. Sit with it. Citi tells their clients one thing in public and publishes a $189,000 bull case in research. Morgan Stanley talks about risk management and then rings the bell on a Bitcoin ETF. Critics go on podcasts to say Bitcoin is worthless, and their colleagues are quietly buying it. And by the way, the thing I said about Jordan Peterson before, I believe he's a Bitcoiner. He's been to the Bitcoin conferences before, so again, why is this guy suddenly talking about Bitcoin like he doesn't understand what it is? Are we supposed to believe he's stupid? I don't think so. There is what people say and there is what people do. So you should watch what they do. And if this week you think that it's time to stop watching from the sidelines and actually be in the room, Mining Disrupt is where that happens. The world's largest Bitcoin mining expo, biggest names in the industry, cutting-edge rigs, Bitcoin and AI integration, live stream keynotes, and networking you cannot get anywhere else. Grab your tickets at miningdisrupt.com and use promo code SimplyBitcoin for 20% off. Do not sleep on this. Now, let me bring this week together. Bitcoin went to $78,000 while everyone was debating whether it was real. Are we still in a bear market? Are we so back? I don't know. But Strategy absorbed 3 times the global miner supply in a single week, and they have $21 billion left to deploy. A sovereign nation under maximum sanctions chose Bitcoin at one of the world's most critical checkpoints because nothing else held up. A professor with millions of followers proved in public that Bitcoin is so structurally different from everything that came before it that even he can't locate it. And a sitting congresswoman, well, she filed the paperwork, she bought it, and this is what the accumulation phase looks like. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't ask for your permission. It doesn't wait for consensus. It just kind of happens. The critics are getting louder, the institutions are getting in, the nations are building infrastructure, and the lawmakers are buying it with their own money. The gap between what they say and what they do, well, that's the signal. Thanks for watching Simply Bitcoin's Satoshi. Don't forget to smash the like button, share the show with your friends, drop a comment below because I literally read all of them. Follow me on X at InternetSophie, and as always, stack, slay, and stay bullish, baby.